Happy July 4th today. So I said I was not going to skip today. I wanted to say happy July 4th and hope you are going to have a wonderful day. It is starting to clear out here in the Carolinas. We might see some blue sky. It was really stormy last night, but maybe we'll see some blue skies and be able to get in the pool after all. So this morning I meant to have things super lighthearted, but there was I've just been reflecting this morning on freedom and just really want to share. And so obviously celebrating our independence and our freedom here in the United States. Just so thankful that I'm in this country. We are not perfect by far. A lot of things I wish I could change, but we do have freedom, especially of religion and all kind of freedom, obviously. But so thankful for that. And so this morning I was just brought to mind the verse from Galatians 5:1. It is for freedom that Christ set us free. So I've been thinking a lot this morning, just being really thankful for our freedom in our country, political freedom, religious freedom, but also our spiritual freedom that we have in Christ. And so just wanted to talk a few minutes about that. First of all, we have a freedom from our punishment and from our past. And so we don't have to, make sacrifices, and we don't have to punish ourselves, from things that we have done wrong and from our sin, and because Christ has taken on that punishment for us once and for all. He was the ultimate sacrifice. We do not have to spend our lives trying to punish ourselves and trying to make up for some things that we've done in the past. Once we are forgiven, we are forgiven, and our sins are from as far as the east to the west. It's gone, and we do not need to live in this in shame and guilt. Jesus has set us free. And so just encourage you, if you are struggling with that, that you would just ask God to set you free today. Is for freedom that Christ set you free. You do not have to live in shame and guilt of your past and live in a state of trying to punish yourself for things that you've done wrong. Also, we don't have to live under the law anymore. So we're not trying to keep ourselves from, what we eat, what we wear, what we touch, what we see. Yes, there's some wisdom in doing some of that things, but we are free in Christ. We do not have to live under the law, those things that, we don't have to get circumcised. We don't have to do certain things like they used to do under the law. So I think there's some wisdom in doing good things and doing right things and being a bondservant to Christ, is that we willingly give our lives and do things in a holy way, but we are free. Everything is permissible. Not everything is beneficial, but everything is permissible, and we have freedom in Christ. But also, I just wanted to talk about, we also have some spiritual freedoms. We do not have to live as children of God in state of bondage. And I'm thinking about addictions, and there's all sorts of addictions. There's no way I can cover that whole topic, obviously. But I've interviewed women who have had addictions to drugs, who have had addictions to alcohol, to stealing. So I've talked to women who have been freed from addictions, and me myself, there's other addictions God has freed me from addictions to people, to relationships, to watching TV, to food. I feel like God has finally freed me from my addiction to sugar. And praising God and praying that is the case. So I just think that we have so much freedom, and I just want to say, for people who may be struggling with some kind of addictions, is that for me, it's been a combination of, one, just being obedient, knowing that I shouldn't do these things, and purposely walking away from them, maybe doing some kind of fast, short-term fast. And I've done many sugar fast, and it's taken many fasts actually to really feel like I've broken it, but God has broken that addiction, because He began to change some mindsets for me about that. And so it's been part obedience, and then part just y'all fasting and praying and asking God to take these addictions away from us and these bondages away from us. Lots of fasting and praying and being really intentional about asking God to show you why you're addicted and to change your mindset around that. And so, so I told you I was going to get a little bit serious today. I'm sorry, it's just what was on my mind. So, I'm just really passionate about that because I've seen such you know, chains break in my mind, even mindsets. I was such a, and I've talked about how my fear of worrying, but like I have had really some chains break around my thought life, and then just the constant thinking about things, and that's not the way our mind even is supposed to be free. And God really freed me up in some of that a couple years ago. And so let me think about oh yeah, okay, so the book, let me just tell you really quickly, the book for that, Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer, so good. That's what really changed some of my mindsets around just how I thought and stuff like that. So definitely check that out. So I am just celebrating the freedom we have in our country. I am celebrating the freedom we have in Christ from not having to punish ourselves, not having to live under the law, the yoke of slavery under the law, and you know, the freedom that He has given me from bondage and addiction, and that we can have all of this freedom as believers and as children of God. And so want that for all of you, whatever you might be dealing with. I would even love it if you would message me so I can pray for you if there's something specific that you are, one of those areas that you're dealing with. So let's celebrate our freedom in our country and our freedom in our spiritual lives, and just live with joy today. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining. We will be back at it tomorrow morning. Bye.